Hi, my name is Frankie. Thank you for listening to my mom. I never listen.
Couldn't be more excited to have one of the best guards in the country on our podcast, Nothing But Net. Hailey Van Lith from the University of Louisville. She's a sophomore and she is sensational. Hailey, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate it.
Hailey, I can see how much you love playing. Where did you fall in love with the game?
When I was really young, I obviously am naturally really competitive, and I had the older brother who played, and my dad coached, so he let me hang around the boys team, and I would get to practice with him sometimes. And I think just getting to always play older people and it always being a hard competition and just getting to compete, I fell in love with the competition side of basketball. And just the talent and the skill and the hard work, all different components of it. So at a really young age, I drew to it really quickly.
Well, we have to give a shout out to your dad, Corey, because I know he is by far your biggest fan. I mean, when I know the parents of the players, that means that they have shared some sort of exchange with me, whether it's on the court or after a game. And I know how much your dad and your mom and dad mean to you and your family means to you. Tell me a little bit about what you've learned as a daughter who has been coached by her dad.
Yeah, he is my biggest fan, but he's also my biggest critic and is never soft on me, never babies me. And he's the reason why I've got to where I'm at. He's my main trainer, taught me everything I know, taught me to compete. And I think he never gives me anything. I always have to earn everything. And even if something is going wrong on the team or a relationship with another teammate or anything like that, he always is encouraging me to look inward instead of look outward and find things that are wrong. I think I just really appreciate more the values that he's instilled in me that have led me to this point.
That's pretty good advice, to look inward, because today most people are looking for an excuse or trying to find a reason why. But when you're looking inward and you're trying to not make the same mistake twice, what are some of the things that you go through as a process in your mind to make sure that you are on the right track?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of in a game situation, say I felt like I didn't get enough shots up in a game. It could go two ways. Yes, maybe I didn't get as many touches, but also when I did touch it, was I being passive? Recently, in the couple of games, I want to get more. I want to get my 3 attempts up in games. Lately, it's been 1 to 2, and I need a few more in there just to get a flow. But honestly, half the time I catch on the 3-point line, I'm not being aggressive myself. So I think just having that attitude of it there's always two sides to it. There's always maybe a little bit of outward thing causing that, but that you really can affect it yourself more than you think you can. And
Well, you get to play for Jeff Walz too. And so Jeff is a really interesting character in our game. I love spending time with him. I always say his smart aleck is his strength and it's his weakness. What's it like to deal with Jeff's temperament, his coaching ability, but his overall toughness and love for his players every day in practice?
Yeah, Coach Walz, he always gets on me because he thinks I'm too serious and he doesn't think I smile enough in the game and he wants me to have more fun. But the fact that I'm so serious, he also likes it about me, and I know that he likes it because when the game is on the line, I'm all business and I'm ready to play. But he's helped me off the court too, just with relationships and learning to open up to people and build stronger connections. So he definitely cares about us. And he obviously is one of the best at what he does on the court, and he's always looking to put us in positions to be successful, which was really important for me when choosing the school.
Well, as a parent, I'm going to tell you, that's why you send your kids to college, right? It's to get an education and to learn, to grow, to mature, to experience other things, not just play ball and go to class. You got to have a blend there. What's this stuff about you only get 1 more hour in the gym a day? Like he told me he had to lock you out.
Yes, they give me crap for it all the time. They think I'm half crazy. which I might be, but it's a good thing, right? They're just really helping me manage my body so that I could stay healthy and have a long career, because as much as I do want to be in the gym all the time, I want to play as long as I can. So to do that, I definitely have to manage and keep my knees healthy, my back healthy, my ankles healthy, all that stuff. And I have felt it this year. I feel my body feels a lot better. My turnaround for games, I don't feel as sore. So I will say that it might be working a little bit, even though I'm too stubborn to give up my shot, but I'll give credit.
Yeah, I wouldn't think stubborn would in any way be a part of the conversation with you and your approach to the game. So at ACC Media Day, we had a really interesting conversation with you, because you were telling me how you had really slimmed down, that you had really worked on your diet, your recovery. You had dropped at least 7 pounds at the time, and you looked sleeker, if I may use that word. How do you think you were able to find the discipline and the maturity? And or is that just because you are motivated, because you want to be the best you can be, to be able to get yourself in a position where you understand that recovery is as important as reps?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the slimming down part, it was simply that was a part of my game that I needed to get better at to get to the next level. So was I willing to do that? Was I willing to sacrifice maybe the kinds of foods that I wanted to eat, how many times I was going to do cardio in a week? And it paid off for me. Honestly, I was able to do it. I had a lot of great trainers helping me. It wasn't just me by myself, but and I've been able to stay in this shape, and it's really benefited me this year, especially on the defensive end. I'm getting more steals and passing lanes than I've ever got, because I'm quicker on my feet. I can read it faster. Even getting in the paint, I'm getting in the paint a lot more to create shots for my teammates, for myself, because I am quicker. I can get by on a first step faster. And yeah, I think for me, it was just deciding whether I was willing to make this next sacrifice to really get to the next level.
How good is your defense? It is the top line. It's the narrative. It's Louisville basketball. It's their defense. It's elite. Why?
Honestly, this year, I think we're elite because we trust each other, that when we want to go for a steal and we want to be aggressive, that my teammate has my back for help if I miss. And that's been something that's been really fun, because you will see us sometimes go for a steal and miss, but then Emily steps up and helps. Steps up and helps. And then they're lighter on their feet this year. Can guard a guard for a part of a possession for us this year. And Emily, obviously, her rim protecting abilities is crazy. But even on the guard position, we have Mikasa and me, who are stronger guards, who can guard a 4, a 3, but also can pick the ball up at times. And then we have Chelsea and Alana, who are specialties at heating the ball up. I think we just have a wide variety of people that are good at different things, and we all blend it together, and it's a perfect storm. So
at the beginning of the season, I was saying, Dana who? In reference to losing a back-to-back ACC Player of the Year, and people thought I was crazy. They're like, Dana is a huge piece, and I'm not discounting what Dana did. Dana was definitely the back-to-back ACC Player of the Year. She deserved it, averaging over 20 points a game. She's a tremendous player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA. But that was a big piece to replace, 20 points a game. While your offense is sort of, I don't want to use the word struggling. I want to use the word maybe not executing at the highest level, or is it that you're just not, you guys are just struggling to make shots? I mean, your defense gives you so much, but when the game slows down, what parts of your offense need to get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's the details in our execution. Sometimes we miss screens. Sometimes our screens are too high. Sometimes they're too low. Sometimes the guard fills out to the wrong side when they backdoor, all things like that. And our offense is new this year. We did put in a bunch of new stuff. So I think even the returners are still kind of learning it. But just focusing on details and knowing that that's important, even the angles that we're screening at, where we're cutting from. Just the little details, I think, are really going to open up for us. And we're starting to get it. Our practices have been going well for us. The girls are all remembering the plays now, so we've got that down. So that's a good start, but it's definitely developing, and I would say we're on an incline hill here. So
I think one of the things that I notice about your offense is that it's not just a one guard front. Sometimes it's a two guard front, and you're running some dribble drive, you're running some Princeton, you're running some things that open up the floor a little bit more. Is that what you mean when you say a different offense?
yeah, the spacing is different. Even girls have abilities to penetrate gaps and kick out, and then the defense doesn't help in the next time. So then we're getting lanes. I think we just are playing in space better this year. And girls aren't dribbling so much. The ball is moving quicker. We're hitting our posts more often and getting double teams out of that or quick scores. So yeah, I think more importantly, the ball is just moving a little faster.
Hailey, I said on the air that you're a muscle memory and you're a self-correct when it comes to your shot. Like Jeff says all the time, he's not worried about what you're doing. He knows that you're ready. He knows that your shots are going to fall. How much time are you spending worrying about whether your shots are falling or not?
Yeah, when you miss the first few out in a game, it's always in the back of your mind. But for me, a big step for me is my confidence, and maybe missing the first 3 shots of the game, but trusting my shot, trusting all the work I put in, trusting the reads I make, especially on a pick and roll. Sometimes I can be passive because maybe I shot the last 2 possessions, so I want to get someone else's shot, but the right read is for me to shoot. So I think that's just something I'm really still working on, but I've improved a lot from last year for sure.
You are a walking scouting report, and you are like Synergy 101 when you're breaking down the game for me. So I want to know how much film you watch, and what do you watch when you're watching film? A lot of times players just watch themselves. What are you watching?
When I watch it differently depending if I'm watching myself or watching a team I'm going to scout. If I'm watching myself, I really like to watch how I move when the ball is away from me, actually, because someone that I wouldn't say my game is necessarily very similar to his, but someone that I really admire in the NBA is like Steph Curry, and how much he moves and how much he creates for himself when he's away from the ball. And I think that's a step that I can get better at. So especially with the way my post pass, I have really good passing posts and everything like that. So I can take advantage of cutting without the ball, maybe backdooring on a staggered screen for me. But when I'm watching other players or other teams, I like to watch. One thing I really focus on is how they guard on ball picks, especially with maybe a player that's my style, because we do run a lot of on balls this year, and that's somewhere where I can create easily for someone else or for myself. So I would say that's an area that I focus a lot on.
So offense doesn't have to be pretty for the first 3 quarters. Your defense has kept you in all these games, with the exception of, the one loss. You lost in overtime in your first game of the season. So, all right. So you've won 13 straight at the taping of this podcast. Kentucky, UConn, Georgia Tech. Those games all came down to the fourth quarter, and each fourth quarter you were involved in making 1 or 2 or 3 really big plays to help your team win. Is that where your confidence comes in? And your synergy report and your scout and your self-awareness, all of that?
Yeah, I think honestly, a lot of people ask me lately, like, what do you feel in those moments? And I feel the most calm I felt the entire game. In that Georgia Tech game, when I hit the shot to tie it, I just felt like I was repping it in practice. Like I knew that was my spot, and I knew I needed to get there and get the shot off for my team. And I will say I do, like, that's what I live. That's what I work so hard for, is that moment to have the opportunity to be in a competitive game like that and make those plays. And I have other girls on the team who step up too. Like in the Georgia Tech game, Kiana hit 2 really important threes in that fourth quarter for us. So I think just knowing that my teammates are there for me too, and allowing me to have that opportunity to make those plays is something that I really enjoy about this team. But yeah, I mean, that fourth quarter is where the gamer in me comes out, and I could be 0 for 10 in the first 3 quarters, but I'm about to go 5 for 5 in the fourth quarter. So you can bet it.
I 100% believe it, because
Yeah.
I have seen it in the Kentucky game. So Hailey, when you're not playing ball and you're not studying and you're just hanging out, like what are a couple of things that you like to do to relax?
I'm actually a baker. I love to bake for my teammates and watch baking shows. My mom's a really good cook, so I learned from her, but I'm a baker, that's for sure.
What's your specialty?
I make some pretty mean brownies. Actually, I learned to do lemon bars this year and they were pretty good. So I think I'm going to add lemon bars to the specialty list too, but my brownies are one of a kind.
I will let you know the next time I'm going to be in Louisville for a game, because I will expect to have something delivered to me courtside before the game from you.
I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, cool. I appreciate so much, Hailey, you being on the podcast with us. Thank you so much. We enjoy watching you play. You know what I told you after the Kentucky game is true. You're good for the game. We need you to keep working, keep doing your thing, and keep letting your bright smile and your bright attitude in our game shine through. We need your passion.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.